One star died during a scene, on camera. Another was found under circumstances so strange, fans are still asking questions. These aren't internet myths. These are real Hollywood stories the credits never showed. Wallace Reed. He was a huge silent film star. Audiences loved him. Studios loved him more. During a shoot, he got hurt in a train accident. To keep working, he was given morphine for the pain. That's where it all started. He became dependent on it, but no one stopped filming. The studio just kept him going, movie after movie. His health got worse fast. In the end, they sent him to a sanitarium. He died there at 31. The news blamed stress, but everyone knew it was more than that. His wife, Dorothy Davenport, later made a movie called Human Wreckage to tell the truth. Wallace didn't just fade away, he was used up. Early Hollywood had no safety net, no care, and no plan. If you were in pain, they hid it. If you broke down, they moved on. Wallace was the first big star Hollywood watched fall and did nothing. Peg Antwistle. She came to Hollywood with big dreams. She had Broadway experience and landed a role in a new film. But her career didn't take off the way she hoped. Roles dried up, money ran low. At just 24, she climbed up to the H on the Hollywood sign and didn't come back down. When her body was found, people were shocked. A letter arrived the next day. She had just been offered a lead role in a play about a woman who takes her own life. The timing was eerie. Her story became Hollywood legend, but the truth was simpler and sadder. She needed help and didn't get it. Her death was a wake-up call, but the industry moved on. Today, people still bring flowers to that hillside. Not for the fame, but for the girl who didn't get her shot. Peg was real. The sign was just wood. Carol Landis. She was everywhere in the 1940s. War tours, big films, magazine covers. She looked like she had it all. But off camera, things weren't so perfect. She was in a quiet relationship with actor Rex Harrison, who was still married. Carol wanted more. When things didn't go her way, she shut the door to her room one night and never came out. She was found the next day with a note beside her. The public didn't hear the full story. Harrison left before the police arrived and the press downplayed it. The studios wanted to keep things clean. Fans were told it was sudden and unexpected, but everyone close to her knew she felt trapped. Carol was just 29. Her death shook Hollywood for a moment, but then the machine rolled on. In the end, she was remembered more for the scandal than the struggle that led to it. George Reeves. He was Superman to millions of kids, but off-screen he felt stuck. After the TV show ended, the roles stopped coming. He wanted to be seen as more than a guy in a cape, but Hollywood didn't budge. In June 1959, he was found in his bedroom with a gun nearby. It was ruled self-inflicted, but the story didn't add up for everyone. Some pointed to his complicated personal life, an affair with a studio executive's wife, money problems, and career dead ends. Friends said he seemed upbeat just days before. The press ran headlines, but no one dug too deep. The case is still debated today. Was it really what it seemed, or did someone in power help cover the truth? Reeves died at 45, but the questions never did. For a man known as Superman, his final chapter felt more like a film noir, unfinished and full of shadows. Marilyn Monroe. By 36, she was one of the most famous faces on Earth. But behind the camera, she was exhausted. Studio fights, canceled shoots, health issues, it all built up. On August 5, 1962, she was found unresponsive in her Los Angeles home. The official cause was listed as an overdose, but theories spread fast. Political connections, secret affairs, cover-ups. Her phone records were erased. Her house was cleaned before police arrived. None of it made sense. Fans mourned, but others just wanted answers. Did she mean to leave? Was she trying to be heard? The press called her a tragic beauty. But the truth is, Marilyn was tired of being controlled, picked apart, and sold as a product. She died alone, but her face stayed everywhere. Hollywood made her a legend. It also made her feel disposable. That's what finally caught up to her. Dorothy Dandridge. Dorothy Dandridge broke barriers. First black woman nominated for Best Actress. Gorgeous, talented, unstoppable, until Hollywood stopped calling. Roles dried up. Bills piled up. She took gigs in nightclubs to get by. On September 8, 1965, she was found in her apartment. Some reports said it was a seizure. Others blamed pills. No one gave a clear answer. At just 42, she was gone. Her death barely made front-page news. Hollywood had already moved on to its next starlet. Dorothy had fought to be seen, but the system made sure she stayed boxed in. One big role didn't fix anything. She was the future, but got stuck in the past. People remembered the glamour, not the grind. And when it ended, few noticed. Jane Mansfield. She was everywhere, talk shows, red carpets, tabloids. She played up the blonde bombshell role, but she was smart, trained, and knew exactly how to get attention. On June 29, 1967, she was riding in a car with her kids and boyfriend near New Orleans. The car hit a truck and slid underneath it. Jane, in the front seat, didn't survive. She was 34. The crash was so bad that new safety laws were pushed through, including rear underride bars on trucks, still called Mansfield bars today. Her kids survived, including future actress Mariska Hargitay. The press ran wild with rumors and fake photos, but the truth was grim enough. Jane wasn't just a punchline. She worked hard and pushed boundaries, but Hollywood only saw the image, and that image still overshadowed the tragedy. Bruce Lee. He changed action films forever. He wasn't just fast, he was magnetic. He trained obsessively, choreographed his own fights, and rewrote how martial arts looked on screen. Then, just before the release of Enter the Dragon, he died in Hong Kong at 32. The cause was labeled cerebral edema, but that didn't stop rumors. Secret enemies, curses, and even government plots. None were proven, but the mystery stuck. His funeral was massive. Fans packed the streets. Hollywood had never seen a star like him, and suddenly he was gone. His last film hit theaters weeks later, and it exploded. Lee never got to see how big it became. His death didn't just leave a hole, it left questions. Not just how he died, but why someone so powerful was taken at his peak. Sal Mano. He was a teen idol in the 50s, best known for Rebel Without a Cause. But by the 70s, roles had faded. He was rebuilding, directing, acting on stage, lining up a comeback. Then one night, he parked outside his LA apartment after rehearsal. Someone attacked him. He didn't make it inside. At just 37, he was gone. News broke fast and speculation followed. Was it a targeted act? A random robbery? Later, a man was arrested and convicted, but the motives stayed murky. Hollywood didn't dwell on it. Sal was openly gay in a time when that still got whispered about. Some said the industry never forgave him for that. He was nominated for 2 Oscars, worked with James Dean, and still had more to give. But his second act never happened. All that promise ended in a dark alley with no warning. Freddy Prince. He lit up TV on Chico and the Man. He was 22, rich, and famous. But off camera, things moved fast, too fast. Fame hit hard. So did pressure, lawsuits, and a messy split from his wife. In early 1977, friends noticed something was off. He felt trapped. One night, after calls and visits from people close to him, he sat down with a friend and a gun. The result left everyone stunned. He was rushed to the hospital and passed away the next day. His death was ruled self-inflicted. Fans were shocked. A rising star gone before his next big move. His son, Freddy Prince Jr., would later follow him into acting. But the original Freddy? He never got to see just how much he mattered. Hollywood moved fast then. If you blinked, you missed someone's fall. Natalie Wood. She had been acting since childhood. West Side Story, Rebel Without a Cause, Splendor in the Grass. She was everywhere, but her final film was never finished. Over Thanksgiving weekend in 1981, she went on a yacht trip with her husband Robert Wagner and co-star Christopher Walken. Hours later, she was found in the water near Catalina Island. The official story said she slipped trying to board a dinghy, but bruises, shifting witness accounts, and years of silence kept the case alive. It was reopened decades later. No charges were filed, but Wagner was named a person of interest. Natalie was 43. Her fans never bought the accidental label. There was too much confusion, too many missing pieces. She died while surrounded by people, but somehow no one really knew what happened. Dominique Dunn. She had just filmed Poltergeist when her life was cut short. She was 22 and already being noticed for her work. One night, her ex-boyfriend showed up at her home. There was an argument outside. When neighbors found her, she was unconscious. She never woke up. The case went to trial, but the sentence was shockingly short, just a few years. Her family, including Father Dominique Dunn, fought to keep her memory alive. The story hit hard because it was avoidable. She had tried to distance herself. She had warned people. Hollywood paused, but not for long. Dominique was gone before she got the career she was building, and justice never really caught up. Eric Hex. He was a rising heartthrob with movie star looks and a big TV role. He joked around on set a lot. One day, while waiting between scenes, he picked up a prop gun loaded with blanks and pretended to shoot himself. The blast hit him at point-blank range. He collapsed instantly. Blanks don't fire bullets, but the force was enough to cause fatal damage. He was taken off life support days later. Eric was only 26. Afterward, the industry re-examined how weapons were handled on set, but only briefly. Fans were stunned. One moment he was messing around, the next it was over. It wasn't violence, it was carelessness, and it cost a life. River Phoenix. He was supposed to be the next big thing. Talented, thoughtful, respected by directors and co-stars. On Halloween night, 1993, he was outside the Viper Room in West Hollywood, waiting to perform with friends. He collapsed on the sidewalk. Paramedics tried, but it was too late. He was 23. The cause was ruled a mix of substances. Fans were shocked. So were most of his friends. He'd kept his struggles quiet. His younger siblings, including Joaquin Phoenix, were there that night. The loss was personal, public, and permanent. River had just finished filming Dark Blood, which was shelved for years. He wasn't just a teen idol, he was something deeper, and that depth didn't protect him. Brandon Lee. He, the son of Bruce Lee, was stepping into his legacy. He landed the lead in The Crow, a dark, stylish action film. During one scene, he was shot with a prop gun, but the gun had been improperly cleared and a piece of a dummy round was still inside. It hit him in the abdomen. He was rushed to the hospital, but surgery couldn't save him. He died at 28. The incident was ruled an accident. The film was eventually finished using stand-ins and early CGI. It became a cult hit. Brandon never saw it. 2 generations of the Lee family were taken too soon, both under eerie circumstances. His death didn't just shock fans, it changed how prop weapons were handled forever. Rebecca Schaefer. She was just getting started. She'd starred in a hit sitcom, had modeling contracts, and was lining up film auditions. Then a man she didn't know showed up at her front door. He had been obsessed with her for years. After a brief exchange, he returned with a weapon. Rebecca was just 21. The incident stunned Hollywood and the country. It led to the creation of anti-stalking laws in California and helped limit public access to DMV records. Her death changed how celebrities and regular people thought about privacy. She wasn't in a scandal or in over her head, she was home. And that was the part that scared everyone the most. Chris Farley. He was loud, wild, and hilarious. He stole every scene on SNL and in movies like Tommy Boy, but his energy hid a lot. He battled addiction for years. Friends worried. Rehab stays came and went. In December 1997, he was found in his Chicago apartment after days without contact. He was just 33. The cause was listed as a mix of substances. It echoed the death of his comedy hero John Belushi almost exactly. Farley's death hit hard, not just because he was funny, but because he was deeply loved. He made people laugh while quietly falling apart. The pressure to stay funny, to stay on, never let up. Brad Renfro. Brad Renfro was discovered at 10 and starred in The Client at 11. He had the look, the talent, and the momentum, but fame came too early. Legal troubles followed. So did addiction. By his 20s, he was trying to turn things around. Indie films, rehab, second chances. But on January 15, 2008, he was found unresponsive at home. He was 25. The news barely made headlines. Just days later, Heath Ledger passed away, and Brad's death got buried in the chaos. There was no big tribute, no outcry, just a quiet end to a fast and messy ride. He wasn't a cautionary tale. He was a kid who never got a break. Heath Ledger. He had already built an impressive career, but The Dark Knight changed everything. His performance as the Joker was haunting, raw, and unforgettable. But during filming, his sleep suffered. He took medication to rest, to focus, to calm down. On January 22, 2008, he was found in his New York apartment. The medical examiner listed it as an accidental overdose of prescription drugs. He was 28. His death shocked the world. The film came out months later and earned him a posthumous Oscar. Some blamed the role. Others pointed to exhaustion. What's certain is that he didn't plan to leave. He had projects lined up and a daughter he adored. The industry praised his work, but only after he was gone. Brittany Murphy. She had a voice you couldn't miss and energy that lit up every scene. Clueless, 8 Mile, Just Married. She bounced between comedy and drama with ease. But by the late 2000s, her roles slowed down. Rumors swirled about her health, her marriage, her weight. In December 2009, she collapsed in her LA home. The cause was listed as pneumonia with multiple complications. She was 32. A few months later, her husband also passed under similar conditions. Fans were confused. The house was reportedly full of mold. Others blamed stress, medication, or poor care. No one gave a clear answer. Her death felt unreal, too sudden, too strange, too quiet for someone so full of life on screen. Cory Hay. He was a teen sensation in the 80s. The Lost Boys, License to Drive, Lucas. He had the charm and the following. But fame hit young, and the industry didn't exactly guide him well. He struggled for years with health issues, addiction, and financial trouble. By 2010, he was living with his mom and trying to stay clean. On March 10th, he was found unresponsive in their apartment. The coroner later ruled it a natural death linked to pneumonia, with no illegal substances involved. He was 38. Some still link his decline to childhood trauma in the industry, but Hollywood didn't look back. One minute, he was the face on every teen magazine. The next, he was gone, and most didn't notice until it was too late. Paul Walker. He was mid-franchise with Fast and Furious when tragedy hit. On November 30th, 2013, he left a charity event in a Porsche with a friend. Minutes later, the car crashed and caught fire. Both were killed at the scene. Walker was just 40. The speed and impact stunned fans. He had been filming Furious 7, which had to be rewritten using his brothers and digital effects. The studio dedicated the movie to him, and his final scenes hit hard. Paul wasn't wild off-screen. He surfed, volunteered, and stayed out of drama. That made the loss hit even harder. He wasn't supposed to go yet. Robin Williams. He was pure magic. Comedy, drama, voice work, he did it all. In August 2014, he was found in his California home. At first, reports focused on depression, but later it was revealed he had Lewy body dementia, a rare brain disorder that had been misdiagnosed. He was 63. The condition caused confusion, anxiety, and memory loss. Doctors said it would have gotten worse fast. He likely knew. His death sparked massive grief but also raised awareness. The world lost one of its brightest voices. but also learned just how quietly some battles are fought. Naya Rivera. She became a breakout star on Glee. Strong voice, sharp wit, major screen presence. In July 2020, she took her son out on a boat at Lake Piru. When the boat was found drifting, only her son was on board. Her body was recovered 5 days later. Authorities believe she used her last strength to save him. She was 33. The news was everywhere. Fans, friends, and former co-stars shared their heartbreak. Her death brought attention to the lake's dangers and lack of safety measures. But most people focused on her final act, protecting her child, even at the cost of everything else. And Heche. She had a career filled with highs and headlines, blockbuster roles, indie films, and public controversies. In August 2022, she crashed her car into a home in Los Angeles. The car caught fire. She was pulled out but never regained consciousness. Days later, she was declared brain dead at 53. The reports were complicated. She had struggled publicly with mental health and substance use. The crash reignited conversations about treatment, safety, and stigma. But for those who remembered her early performances, Donnie Brasco, 6 Days, 7 Nights, the ending felt harsh. She wasn't just a headline. She was a working actor, a mother, and someone still trying to find peace.